How you doing, guys? Do you remember the days back in the Kingdom Hall when you expected opposition at the door? You see a JW, you say, how you doing today? And more often than not, you get the reply, one day closer to paradise. Let's face it, when I became an unbaptized publisher, I expected it. I was told, yeah, you're going to get more doors slammed in your face, you're going to be insulted, which is pretty much the case. I remember many days I go out, I'd gone to one door, and this woman knocking on the door, I knew somebody was in there. She comes out of the house. She wrote out a little note, tapes it to the door, and walks away. Note says no soliciting. I says to the person with me, I says, I guess that means us. So we walked on, didn't think much of it. Knocked at another door. This woman came out and took our visit personally. She apparently had a bad experience with the JW. She came out, started poking me in the chest, reaming me from up one side and down the other. Well, she goes in the house, and I'm like, well, that was a good call. As we're leaving, she comes out again and starts poking me in the chest again. She poked me so hard she broke her finger. I says, hurts, doesn't it? Well, this was great for the war stories at the field service meetings. We all expected it, and none of us really took it personal. We knew these were the last days. We're that close to the end. If they don't want to hear our message, move on to the next door. That's their problem. So now here it is, 10, 12 years later. We're closer to the end than we were then. So if we're this close to the end, why are many of Jehovah's Witnesses getting so hostile? I knew my last month in just how hostile they could get. I had one person at the hall, and this is what got back to me, went to the elders and says he could do something that they couldn't do. I have sway with him. I'll get him back to the Kingdom Hall. Started pestering me at the door. I realized our conversation was going back and forth. He was going to the elders to know what to say. And as time went on, he realized he was having no sway with me. And he was getting angrier and angrier and angrier to the point I didn't even want to talk to him anymore. So I stopped answering my door. I had multiple phones, so he could never get me on the phone if I didn't want him to. He started pestering me at work. He would basically show up with one Watchtower article after another. He'd open up the door and just casually walk in. Excuse me, I'm at work. He said, I want you to read this. And I told him flat out, if this is a Watchtower article, it's going right in the recycling bin. He says, read it with an open heart and an open mind. And I'm thinking to myself, more like reading it with a blindfold on. Never really opened them, just dropped them in the trash. Of course, they were Watchtower articles. When he finally realized that I wasn't going back to the Kingdom Hall, he got quite belligerent, quite nasty. And I'm like, man, where is everybody that could see this? I want everybody to see this, just how nasty they can get. Now, this isn't all Jehovah's Witnesses, but there are quite a few that get nasty. He was hurling insult after insult, making really nasty comments towards me. We also have somebody on YouTube who's doing the same thing. Now, this close to the end, they claim that they're not interested in us. Those that have left that are obviously, especially the ones doing YouTube videos, we're too far gone. Satan has us. We're not interested in you. We're interested in those that are on the fence. We're trying to get them to come back. If that were the case, then why, especially one YouTuber, and many other JWs as well, spending so much time focusing on those that are too far gone, as opposed to those who are just sitting on the fence? Because no, they're not interested in those sitting on the fence. They are very angry, and they are focused on those that they consider too far gone. Let's face it, we've all seen Jabba the Hutt's videos. He's getting nastier and nastier and nastier. Obviously claims that he's exposing us, when in reality he's really not proving or exposing anybody. All he's doing is insulting. He's exposing himself as a complete ass, like many JWs inside. And they're not seeing this. If we are a waste of time, why keep mentioning us? Why? Because it's ego with some people. See, with Jabba the Hutt, it's ego, because when he mentions us, his views goes up. Bragging about 600 views is not much. When you're in the thousands of views, Java, then you can start bragging. In all honesty, the only reason you're getting views is you're making controversial comments about us. You're not after those that are just on the fence. If anything, you're running them off. I have a friend in West Texas that knows I'm a JW. She's familiar with this channel. She doesn't fully understand why I do these videos. She doesn't understand what the watchtower is, basically because she's never been inside. Not insulting her, that's just the way it is. If you have never been inside of the Kingdom Hall and its workings, you don't fully understand it. Well, she knows I do videos, and on occasion she'll watch them. I sent her the Fat Hamsters videos on a couple of occasions, which really was kind of a waste of time because she's not understanding why he's so nasty, why he's so angry at us. Because, like I said, she doesn't understand the workings. Well, she didn't say anything. She just accepted them. And I guess she did watch a few. She sent me a picture over the weekend of, let's see, who was it? Freddy Krueger. This is a cartoon picture. Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, the clown from It, and Chucky in the background, all watching TV. Now, they were all scared shitless. And the caption read, I believe, "What are they watching?" And she sent a text, "This is how I feel watching Darrow's videos." Well, it took a few days for it to register because, I was busy with some other things, and I read that, and I'm thinking, she is actually visibly upset and freaked out by this guy. And this girl is not a wimp by any means. She could take down most guys if she wanted to. But she was completely freaked out by Darrow's videos. And I'm thinking, this is how the general population would see this. Very upsetting. Now, I'm sure there are JWs inside that are in total disagreement with this idiot. And there may be a few hostile ones that are right behind him 100%. But how do you expect to lure anybody into the organization with such hateful, spiteful comments? When you come out like a child, you can no longer defend your stance. In reality, you never did. But you got, I hate you, God hates you. What the hell kind of mentality is that? And when the general population sees this, they're going to say, these are Jehovah's Witnesses? Yes, they are. I know this firsthand because I got this my last month in. My former Bible instructor got very nasty with me. At the time, he felt he could get away with it. Now I'm out. He can't. He stays as far away from me as possible, wetting his pants. My last couple of weeks, he was stalking my place of employment, circling the place. I mean, it was getting embarrassing. My boss was ready to say, I'm going to bar him from coming in here. But the problem is, why are they getting so hostile? Because they think they're the masters of your faith. They want to lord it over you. They're hostile for another reason, the fact that we had the Spaldings to stand up to this lie. When we realized our baptism, our dedication, was not to the Almighty. It was for a real estate corporation. So we got up and left for whatever reason. And this angers them because they are still prisoners in there. So what do? They hurl insults constantly, and they get worse and worse and worse. At this point in time, we're all getting a big laugh out of Darrow Wildberg. He is a joke, and he's totally embarrassing himself. If he's not interested in us, why does he keep mentioning us? Basically, he's jealous that we had the Spaldings to stand up. He has none. He's got nuts the size of a gopher. Plus, he wants to be the masters of your faith. When you don't listen, he and many others get angry. But what does it say at 2 Corinthians 1:24? It says, not that we have dominion over your faith, but are fellow workers for your joy, for by faith you stand. But in reality, that's not the case. They are masters over your faith, because when we disagree, we're wrong, we're unreasonable. In reality, when you show them the facts, they're unreasonable. We all know this, We also know that they are getting angrier and angrier, more and more hostile. We're having nasty things said about us. I've had some in my town say some nasty things about me when, if I'm DF'd being shunned, my name should drop from your lips. But this is going to continue. But if we're this close to the end, why aren't you happy anymore? If you're in the truth, if you're being persecuted for having the truth, then why are you so angry? Anyways, guys, that's all I got for today. I'd love to hear your comments. If you come across this video, hit that subscribe button. That'll let you know that I'm out here. You guys have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.